Good morning, you all. May the good Lord bless you. I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. Tell you what I'm going to do today, you all. When I was growing up as a young man, 1960s, 70s, I learned how to set snares. And really, the only one that I really knew how to do really good was the A-frame snare. The three-sticked A-frame. Well, when you have to drive those things in the ground, you guys, in the dead of winter, or when it's raining and it's really wet, them things tend to pull loose or fail under pressure. In other words, your spring pole is pulling that tree back out of the ground, or that stub that you drove in the ground, whether it's a forked stick or stub. You just can't drive them far enough in rocky country, or let's say you're in a sandy area where the thing has to be like 2 feet long. Well, those things fail, especially in the wintertime and when it's raining. So I'm going to show you this morning, you guys, how to set a snare that when you set it, that it can't pull the stub up, okay? That's what we're going to be doing in this video. So right here behind me, I have a situation or a trail that's going through here. So I'm going to set a snare in this trail, okay? Simulated. I'm going to take this tree and bend it over and show you how to do it. And you will see how easy it is not to have to make a bunch of stuff just to get the snare set. And I do lots of those kind of particular sets. But when it's winter time and you can't keep the thing, you either can't get it in the ground or it won't stay in the ground. That's what I'm going to show you how to solve that problem this morning. Now you can see this natural channel right here between this tree, guys, and this log. And it's going over there where there's some water in that creek over there. And this is actually a trail. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set a snare up, and we're going to make a spring pole snare that when the animal goes through, he simply pulls our trigger stick loose and up he goes. Okay, that's what we're going to do. Now you all, back in the 1980s, I used this particular setup in deep snow all the time where we lived. Let me get this pack off. Let me get this tree trimmed up. What we're going to do, you guys, is we're going to take this tree right here, okay? And we're going to use it as the snare. But what we've got to do to make it have more power is we've got to take the top off of this tree right here. Okay, you all will take this piece of cordage here, tie it to this tree. And this is going to be our snare right here. Okay, that's what we're going to do right there. Now, the next thing we got to have, you guys, is a trigger stick. So I'll take the top of this tree right here, and we'll make us a trigger stick. And of course, if you don't have a saw, you guys, in your pack that you carry with you, get you one, okay? Get you a saw, because you need a saw, okay? You don't have to have one, but it sure makes it a whole lot easier if you have one. That's the whole point of this exercise. All right, let's take our knife. We'll cut us a notch in this stick. So that our snare string won't slip. Now you all, we've got this tied in the center of this, right? This tree is powerful, by the way. There's no way in wet ground, you guys, that a stake drived in the ground will hold in there for very long, because when it gets wet or cold, it's going to pull that up out of there. So what we're going to do, we're going to make a notch in this tree right here, just like this right here. I'll show you this. So I've taken the saw, you guys, and I've cut into this tree, okay? And now what we got to do is we got to get this block of wood out of here. Okay, that's what we're going to do. When you're done, guys, this is what your notch will look like. You can do this with a knife, but if you've got a saw, it makes it a whole lot more simpler, you guys. There's our notch. Now, the reason that we're doing this ain't going to pull out of the ground. This tree's growing, okay, in the ground. That ain't going to pull out of the ground, you guys. All right, on the end of this stick right here, you guys, we're going to make a notch. Okay, so we'll take our saw and we'll cut into this stick, and we'll create a notch that will fit in to this notch in this tree over here. So take your saw, cut you some notches in this thing right here, you guys, so that you can whittle it out, okay? All right, now what you're trying to do, you guys, is this right here. You're figuring it out to where this this notch here will lock in to this particular notch, okay? That's what we're trying to do right there. So you have to make it long so that it fits. All right, you all, don't do what I done just now. I cut this, I cut the daggone snare line half in two. Just one slip of the razor sharp knife. And I cut that in two. Yeah, I do boo-boo, you guys, and I'm going to show it to you on video. I'm going to show it to you right on video. So we'll tie it back together. There we go. Now, we're going to take this right where that knot is, and we're going to tie it around this stick. One time. Really good and tight. Now this one goes up to your tree. So let's do that. Come down to where that, you guys, is, and tie it on your tree where this is straight with your notch down here. Just like so. We bring it down, you guys, just like this. There you have it. That ain't gonna pull out. And for me, you guys, that's caught, I don't know how many rabbits that has caught right there, okay? Now you all, since this is for a rabbit, you can see there where I cut that, okay? Rabbit goes through, he's caught, okay? Let's set this up on the trail right about the height of a rabbit, okay? Give you a close-up of what that looks like, guys. All right, for a rabbit, you want the bottom of your loop, you guys. Once you get this set up, about 4 fingers off of the ground, a rabbit will hop right through that loop. If it's too low, he'll get caught by the hips. You don't want that because the other animals, the coyotes, will hear him squealing. You want him to caught by the neck, okay? So 4 fingers off of the ground, and that rabbit will jump right through that loop. Now you guys, you can see that I've taken a forked stick and turned it upside down and just pushed it down in the ground. That's going to hold the loop. The rabbit's going to go right through here, okay? Then we block off the rest of it. This is pretty simple. In other words, we want to direct that rabbit to go through the snare loop, if possible. One thing I found out about rabbits, you guys, is they're creatures of habit. I hope you guys can see that right there. They're creatures of habit. Once they have a trail that they go through, they will just hop right down that trail. So if you give them what looks like an easy way to go, the rabbit will come down the trail. He will hop through the loop. When he gets tangled up in the loop, he will begin to struggle, and he will pull this stub loose off this tree right here. Because this is very, very critical, okay? That's a pretty simple setup. Now, weather will have no effect, you guys, on whether or not your post that's in the ground will come loose, like forked sticks. And I've done plenty of forked sticks, you guys, in dry weather. But if you use this scenario right here, and there's other ones you can do. You can cut the whole tree off and just have a stub. But instead of killing this whole tree, you guys, just make a notch in the tree so that you've got a place for that thing to hang down. Now, when your bunny comes along, or whatever else, whatever your target animal is, by the way, guys, you can set this up for plumb up to foxes and coyotes if you want to. Literally. That's how big you can set this particular set right here. That makes sense to you? Oh, here goes our bunny rabbit, which is a stick in this case. Use it like this. He goes through the loop. He gets hung in the loop. Naturally, the rabbit's going to start to struggle. The more he kicks, that's all there is to it, you guys. Very easy to set. See how easy that is? So, bad weather, that ain't coming loose, you guys. Rain, snow, sleet, or hail, this thing will function. And that's the whole point of the exercise. So you're living off the land, right? You might have your .22 rifle, you may not have your .22 rifle. But if you're trying to get small game or large game, either one, you've got to learn how to make these traps so that they function all the time. You know, if you're laying over there in your shelter somewhere and it's pouring rain or snow and hail and all that kind of stuff, your traps have still got to work. That's the whole point of this exercise right here. So think out of the box. You read about all kinds, and you see me do it too. I can show you dozens of different snare setups. But do they work in the weather that you're in? Okay, that's the whole point of me doing it. Do they work when it's cold? Do they work when it's pouring the rain or sleeting and hail? Because you still got to eat. It doesn't make any difference. So that's one of the best ones, you guys, that I found back in the 1980s when the snow was deep. This trap worked when the rest of them were failing, because the snow was actually piling up over the trigger sticks and all kind of stuff. They were getting wet, and that stuff was just the actual spring pole was pulling the stick that I had drove in the ground out of the ground. So what you want to do is you want to make a setup to where it's impossible for that to happen, okay? And that's what we've done right here. So let me show you that one more time, you guys. Just for general purposes. You've got that rabbit, fox, coon, whatever. He gets in the trap, right? Then all he does is he starts struggling around. Well, he starts struggling around. And that's all there is to it. And you've never seen an easier set to set like that right there, you guys. So you all, this is not complicated unless you complicate it, okay? One of the best things you can carry, you guys, in your survival pack is a good saw of some kind. You can see I've got this folding saw right here that was gifted to me by my buddy Scotty Kinder up in West Virginia. Use it all the time, and it's just one handy item to have in stock. But you can get those little folded ones. You've seen the ones that you can put in your backpack. They work as well. I don't like them as good because you can't do a lot of heavy work with them, but still yet they work. But if you don't have a saw, you can cut a notch into the tree. It's got to be a really good square, straight cut into the tree, okay, into your stop so that it works right. With that, you all, I hope you enjoyed this video. I will have more of them coming along here in a day or two, so stand by. I really appreciate you watching. For all my new subscribers, thank you so very much. If you will please like and share my video, that will help my channel out a lot. May the good Lord bless you. And by the way, you all, somebody asked me, some people ask me this all the time, so I'm going to show you this today. This backpack, you guys, is a RUKX Rooks gear. It's got several pockets in it. I really like the backpack. There's only one thing I wish I had done. I wish I had upgraded. When I got this store in Dixon, Tennessee, at the Dixon Sporting Goods, where my buddy Jimmy Newton used to work, Uncle Sasquatch Outdoors. I went down there to meet Jimmy, and I bought this backpack in there. They give me a really good price on it, but I wish I had got the one with the bottle holders on the outside. That's the only thing I don't like about this backpack. It doesn't have your water bottle holders on the outside of the pack, so you have to stick everything on the inside of the pack. But this is Rooks, RUKX, Rooks. But for a good general purpose day pack, that's what it is. It's not long carry where you got the tent and all that kind of stuff in it. This is just a really good hunting day pack. You see me using it all the time.